What's up, dudes? Y'all read the title of this video. So basically, when I was around 7 or 8, I tried to sell my soul. Not a very good idea on my part, to be honest, and you'll figure out why later on in this video as I tell you the story. So, there's probably a few questions going on in your head right now, like, why would you try to sell your soul? Well, all of that is going to be answered as I tell the story. So basically, around the time that I tried to sell my soul, a lot of stuff was happening in my life, naturally, as one does. I mean, it's a 7 or 8 year old trying to sell his soul. You would think he's going through something to actually want to do something like that. There's no 7 or 8 year old child that's gonna look at Satan and be like, hey, yo, I fucks with you. I want to sell my soul. You feel me? Unless they have like some kind of absurd superpower, or they want some kind of absurd superpower and they grew up in some kind of shitty family that worships Satan or something. But that's the opposite of what I grew up in. I didn't want some kind of shitty superpower. Obviously, when I did try to sell my soul, though, I probably wrote down some stupid superpower on the paper when I tried to sell it. But fuck me, I just alright. I just threw my enchanted cocoa beans into the void. Well, that's gone forever. But yeah, when I tried to sell my soul, I probably did ask for some stupid superpower, but that was not the entire reason why I did it. So basically, before this time, I was actually not doing too bad. I was doing pretty decent in school. Obviously, my home situation wasn't as good as school, but then eventually my school situation started to get so much worse. Basically, my grades started dropping significantly. What I mean by significantly, basically there's A, you can get an A, there's a C, B, D, F, and then there's an R. An R basically means that you repeat the same class. You did so bad that you need to go back to that class and repeat it. Luckily for me, when I did get the R eventually, the teachers did not make me repeat the class, which I'm very grateful for. But at the same time, the fact that I had to repeat is kind of sad, to be honest. At that time, I was getting kind of B's, C's, and I don't think I had gotten a D up till that point. But I mostly got C's and B's, and I had some A's as well. So, I didn't get money. So when I tried to sell my soul, right, I was doing horrible in school. I was getting bullied. The teachers didn't like me, honestly. They didn't like my guts. I don't know why. I don't know what I did, but they didn't like me at all. I think there was one teacher that liked me, but she was just old. That's the only reason she liked me. But yeah, I don't understand why a lot of them hated me, honestly. But that's basically what happened with them. Give me what you got, sir. Thank you. You want a melon block? I got you, homie. What do you want? Fuck me. Alright. Oh my lord, y'all asking for too much, for real. But yeah, so I was failing in school. I was doing horrible, and around this time we were learning to write diaries in school, right? I don't think I was doing too bad in writing diaries, because it's literally a diary. It's not that hard to write a diary, bro. But yeah, I was right. Everything that I did in my real life, I would write in this diary, right? And I think I probably overshared with that diary, because I don't know, I was a little too trusting with that diary, bro. But basically, I had some bullies in school that didn't like me as well. They really hated me for some odd reason. But yeah, so there was the stress at home, and then eventually when my grades dropped, school started to stress me out as well. And then the school stress became home stress as well, because my parents, well, they didn't like that I was doing bad in school at all. They did not like it. So whenever I did do bad, your man's was getting beat hella bad, bro. But yeah, that's whenever I did bad in school, I would come home, and my mother would beat the living fuck out of me. So I was doing bad in school. I already had a bunch of home stress to deal with, and then eventually the school stress. When I started doing bad in school, I got 2 R's. Like I explained earlier, R's are like the lowest you can get. You have to repeat the class, and I got 2 R's, 2 of them. So there are 3 terms every class, and that means that I got that 2 of the terms out of the 3 were R's. The other term, I got a D, which I believe was my first D. And oh boy, did I get my ass beat for that. But to understand how I even came up with the idea of selling my soul, you need to understand my household a little bit more. So, with my household, my mother worships God very heavily, right? And I got nothing against worshiping God. It's fine, you can worship God. But thing is, it's kind of been shoved up my ass a little too much growing up. So, as a child, when I was doing bad in school or before an exam, my mom would tell me to pray. Before I eat, she would tell me to pray. When I sleep, morning, everything was mostly just pray. If I fell down and I hurt my knee, I had to pray. You know, that's how it went. But yeah, even though I prayed, I still did bad in school. So I was getting kind of skeptical with the whole situation. Not really skeptical in the sense of, is God real, or is he fake, or is he just, does he exist? Not that type of skeptical. Skeptical in a way that maybe I'm doing things wrong. Maybe God isn't the one I should be worshipping. Maybe I should have been worshipping the devil. So I thought maybe things would get better if I switched up my teams, Did a good old escape, switch teams. But yeah, I thought maybe that would help if I just tried to switch teams. Maybe if I sold my soul, my situation would get better. Obviously, it did not get better. But, I'm telling the story, it didn't get better. I, at the time, didn't think it would get worse. But I tried it. Around the time, I would watch a lot of horror movies and play a lot of horror games. As a matter of fact, the game that I'm playing on my YouTube channel right now, not Minecraft, but Outlast. There's a series on my channel called Outlast. I don't know if you've seen it. If you're a new viewer, you probably haven't seen it. But I played that game when I was around 10. And before that, I was watching horror movies and watching, myths and legends of games and stuff with my brother. So, yeah, I was kind of exposed to this kind of stuff pretty early on. And so I had a good idea on how selling my soul would kind of work. Because of the bullying, because of the home situation, and all of the working and stuff, I just could not do well in school. So, obviously, as you know by now, I tried to sell my soul. But you're probably asking yourself, Mark, how the fuck did you sell your soul? How the fuck did you even try? At that age, how would you even think of selling your soul? For my age at the time, I think the method I tried to sell my soul using, like, the way I went about trying, is pretty fucking dark for a child my age. So basically, you're probably confused what I mean by that. Basically, what I mean is, I cut my finger, drew a pentagram on a paper, because I knew the pentagram was like associated with the devil. I wrote 666 and all that shit, the devil's number or whatever. And I wrote what I wanted in the pentagram, right? That's how I went about doing it. I know, pretty fucked up for a kid my age. Like, how does a kid my age even think of something like that? But yeah, I thought of something like that and I did it. So that's kind of how I went about selling my soul. Now, did it work? I really don't think so. Otherwise, I would have some kind of stupid, ridiculous superpower, or my life would just be actual ass. Which my life, personally, even though my life hasn't been the greatest, it definitely has not been ass. I've met some great people in my life, and some friends that I hope to keep for years and years and years. Maybe even my entire life. But yeah, my life has not been actual ass, but there has been some bad moments, bad periods in my life. So if I wanted to be stupid, I could chalk it up to the fact that, oh, this is karma for selling my soul. But I really don't think it worked. I think it was just something that happened. But I mentioned earlier how I was learning to write my diary in school, right? And I have a journal now, and the way I write my journal, I completely learned to do that on my own. I did not learn anything from that class, honestly. I feel like writing a journal or something is kind of self-explanatory, but to be fair, like a lot of things, when it comes to children, you do need to teach them, even if it seems obvious, like teaching them how to think properly, teaching them how to react to certain things, because your reaction can affect the way you look at things. The way you react to things happening in your life can affect you greatly. So I feel like children should be kind of taught these things. And that's good, but I don't think my teachers really taught me how to write a journal properly. But that's besides the point. The point is, I wrote a little too much. That's what I said earlier. I wrote a little too much in that journal, including the fact that I sold my soul. So around that time, I had some bullies in school. And those bullies decided, let's fuck with Mark a little bit and go through his fucking journal. They did that. And they found the fact that I sold my soul. Around that time, I was going to some kind of stupid counseling because the teachers thought I was wild or something like that. So I wasn't in class around the time when they went through my journal. But I came back just in time for me to find them rummaging through my bag and finding my journal and like looking through it. And that pissed me off because, you know, that's my privacy. That's my journal. Our teachers taught us that was something personal, you know. You're supposed to be able to write your deepest thoughts and shit in it, and it should be personal. That's what I thought at the time, at least. But no, it was not personal. These people, my bullies, went through it. They went through the journal, they saw it, and when I came back in class, I saw them going through the journal, and they were doing the shitty thing that children do where it's like, oh, come and get it, and they like move the book away from you and throw it to another person. So they were doing that. And then they decided to show the teacher, which the teacher, being a Christian woman, obviously freaked out at this fact, at this revelation. And she called up my mom. As I mentioned before, my mom is hella Christian, bro. So you can probably assume how she reacted. She was pissed off. Her blood was boiling, for real. But yeah, I got an ass whooping like, I wouldn't say never before, because I think I got my ass whooped just as bad before. But yeah, she beat my ass really, really bad that day. Okay, so here's what she did. I came home after my teacher called my mom. And keep in mind, when she called my mom, I was in class right in front of her watching her call my mom. So I was just there panicking, freaking out, like, oh my god, my mom is gonna actually kill me. And when I got home, I was so anxious. I was so scared. But my mom acted like it was okay. She was like, it's okay, I'm not gonna beat you. And I trusted her, bro. I trusted her. And she led me into my house. And keep in mind, my house at the time had this little cabinet, this little cupboard, where if you want to get to the living room, you need to walk through this little doorway by the cabinet, right? So the cabinet was pressed up against the wall, and it would section off our living room and the actual kitchen, which the kitchen had the front door to our house. The kitchen was where the front door was. So if I want to get to the kitchen, if I want to get out of the house and run away from my mom, I had to get through the kitchen. To get through the kitchen, I need to get through that little space in the cabinet to actually get into the kitchen, which my mom led me into the living room and blocked it off because she was smart. She knew I was trying to run away. She went into the kitchen and got this bamboo, which she beat us a few times with before, right? And this bamboo, well, dude, I don't know if any of you have ever been beat before, but thin hard objects hit so much harder than fat, hard objects, you know? If it was a fat piece of steak, it wouldn't have hit as hard, but these thin objects, they hit you so hardly. They hurt. They hurt like a bitch, bro. It's like wires. Like, I don't know if you've been hit with a wire before, but those, oh, imagine getting hit with your charger wire, bro. That shit hurts. But yeah, she beat me with that fucking bamboo so badly that I couldn't move, dude. I couldn't move on the floor. And then my dad came and kicked me on the floor, which I guess is understandable. They were really upset at me for doing something like that. And keep in mind, even after that, although I never like dabbled, well, I did actually. I did dabble in like Satanism a little bit after, because I don't anymore, because I don't really believe in those things. I do believe there might be a God out there, but personally, I don't have much faith anymore. I respect religion. I respect every religion, but I don't fully believe in a God anymore. Or not really believe in a God, but I don't worship a God anymore. I don't have faith anymore. But yeah, it never really helped. Life was kind of downhill after that. And you know, like I said earlier in the video, if I wanted to, I could chalk it up to the fact that I tried to sell my soul. I could chalk up my bad luck and my kind of, you know, bad life after to that. But I really don't think it was that. I think it was just as simple as life being bad. And honestly, I don't mind it at all. Hard times breed hard people. You know, in life, when you have hard times, that's an opportunity to become stronger. When you have it rough, it's a chance to grow and become a better person. And I think all of these hardships made me a better person, made me happier in the end, and made me more grateful for things that I otherwise wouldn't have been grateful for. But yeah, moral of the story is, don't sell your soul. Yeah, that was it. Bye bye.